In this video, we will be covering things like the Fiddlesticks Rework, Akali, and some other topics. I just want a quick 30 seconds at the beginning here, if you'll let me, to address my subscribers, most likely the people that did click on and watch this video. Or I should say not to watch, because sometimes people like doing the opposite of what I tell them to do, which is why I should also say don't subscribe. Anyways, addressing my subscribers really quick, repetitive League of Legends content. Now, this channel is a Jinx channel and a League channel, but like the main focus is probably Jinx even more than that. Maybe we've niched down a bit too hard. And I say that because when Project Jinx came out, by then we were only doing the weekly Wednesday video, but whenever something that happens to Jinx, either balance or skin, whatever happens, we cover that as deep as I possibly can. So there was multiple videos in that week alone of Project Jinx stuff. Well, I looked at my email and YouTube had hit me up saying, hey, your channel has been reported as spamming content, spamming similar content, and spamming repetitive content. And from my understanding of this email, it wasn't like a manual report, like someone watching my channel or a subscriber decided to hit my channel with that report. It was their bot, the classic YouTube bot doing YouTube bot stuff. And it said I was doing repetitive content to contact them, etc., etc. I left them on red. I didn't respond, mainly because this email was sent out around the time I was doing Project Jinx, but I only just saw this email before Heartseeker Jinx came out. Which leads us to Heartseeker Jinx, is why we did do some videos around it, but I didn't do like a lot of videos, like a week straight of different kinds of Heartseeker Jinx videos. Because if you remember, if you were around for Project Jinx, we weren't doing like the same video of Project Jinx every day. We were doing different stuffs. One was covering the skin itself, one was covering a boards post and different feedback that was being given, one was covering some writers and some stuff talking about changes they might make to the skin, one was just an in-depth look at like the effects and stuff for the skin itself. There were different kinds of videos for each of the videos, but it was still all Project Jinx, and so I guess that's what got it hit. So with Heartseeker Jinx, I did a little bit of a different route where we did some videos here and there, but I snuck in an Akali video in there just to break it up a bit, right? And even though we still related it to Jinx, it was mainly an Akali video, which is also kind of funny because out of all the videos I've done recently, that Akali video actually is one of the best recent performing videos in terms of several analytical metrics. So there's that. That's kind of, it's just interesting to see stuff like that happen on like a Jinx main channel. So with that being said, what this means going forward to deal with the whole repetitive League of Legends content on YouTube and to deal with the email and stuff like that to make sure I don't get emailed by YouTube again with that same kind of issue is just to maybe make sure we have other kinds of videos every so often. So if you subscribe for Jinx content, that's not going anywhere. If anything, there'll probably be more of that, but just I have to be a little bit creative at times with it. It can't all just be a skin came out, so let's talk about this skin, even if it's in different ways for several videos in a row, or a balance change even, unless like maybe we get August himself, the kit designer for Jinx, to make a statement about it, then maybe that can be its own video too amongst other stuff. But every so often we'll probably have to plug in other videos, like in the old days, if you were here back in 2018, before I burnt out and other reasons as well, where I did daily videos of League of Legends content. And it was always still, on Wednesdays, always going to be that Jinx video. So for those of you that are subscribed for that Jinx video, that will always be on Wednesday. I'm just saying there could be other Jinx videos throughout the week possibly. One of the things I've kind of done recently is put the more creative League of Legends video on the second channel. Videos, I should say, on the second channel. There is a second channel. I usually put it in the pinned comment if you want to check that out. There's a Jinx rap we did, for example, for the League of Legends 10-year anniversary back in October, and it was also Jinx's 6th year anniversary in League of Legends. I went and put that on the other channel. Not because you might have not liked it over here, but because the way YouTube works when it comes to niching down and stuff like that is you kind of want to give subscribers the same kinds of videos, so that way when they subscribe, they understand they're going to be getting more of those kinds of videos, and it's worth their subscription. The viewer is always asking themselves, you know, why should I watch this person's content? Why should I watch more of this person's content? Why should I subscribe? And that's usually the answer from a YouTuber's perspective, is we're going to provide you with the content you subscribed for. So even though that it's Jinx related, you're kind of here more for more of the discussion stuff, not for like the music stuff or for the skit stuff or for things like that. So there is League content actually on the other channel. That channel is more of a variety channel to dump kind of variety content on outside of League of Legends, but there is stuff like that that will be over there. If you guys ever want to go check that out, that'd be great. And also I'm saying, so there's a Jinx rap up there if you want to go check that out, because you are someone that's like, I just want Jinx content, I don't care what it is, that sounds interesting, I'm gonna go like listen to it in another tab or something like that. Then there you go. But ideally, if League of Legends and like repetitive content is going to collide a little bit like that, because all I really did, like I said, we covered the PvE, we covered, you know, the boards, posts and stuff like that, the skin in game, design, etc., and I still got that email, which is a thing that I had never gotten before. With prior Jinx skins, I didn't, and the one thing that was different was, again, that was back when we kind of did 7-day-a-week videos, but sometimes of different and like main stuff. So what does this have to do with Fiddlesticks? If you're still watching at this point, you're not down in the comments saying this was clickbait. This is what it has to do with Fiddlesticks. It means maybe, for example, to kind of balance both audiences, the audience that kind of gets caught out and with recommended when I do more popular topics within the league stuff, but also making sure the Jinx population stays happy, is we look at, say, the Fiddlesticks rework, which will probably drop in like a patch or two. Just a heads up, that thing is, I'm letting you know right now, the Fiddlesticks rework is basically done. It's bug fixes that are basically holding it back from being launched, and also they like to launch things on Mondays or Tuesdays like before a patch. So now the new patch is hit, the next patch isn't for like a week and a half, so we can't, at earliest, we probably won't see Fiddlesticks hitting the PvE for about a week and a half. We might see teasers and stuff next week. It's just bug fixes at this point. They basically got everything down. The skin, or not the skin, but the rework itself looks sick. I don't know if it will be sick though, because obviously there's always different opinions that fly around. But as a Jinx channel, what we might do here is address the Fiddlesticks rework and then address what it might be like to play against the Fiddlesticks rework from like a Jinx player's perspective. So for example, if he has a certain amount of skills that let him still be like a support champion, like he can flex support, then we could talk about maybe going against the Fiddlesticks with Jinx and lane, or even playing with a Fiddlesticks support after the rework as Jinx. Who knows, right? Because they look like they're trying to make the Fiddlesticks rework be one of like the scariest skins they've ever made. Well, for all I know, what we will be talking about instead is how when he ults, it makes the jump scare noise from FNAF 6. Which, I'm sorry, but I'm just going to state my opinion. That was actually a little bit scary in my opinion. And I know opinions will vary about both that and whatever, but like when I tend to watch those videos, I tend to like turn the lights off, wait until it's like midnight, put the headphones on, full screen it, sit close to the screen. And maybe that wasn't a bad idea because I bit my mouth a couple times watching that particular one. I did not like that at all. But that being said, like maybe that's something they do because they're trying to make the skin so scary. We address that. But again, from a Jinx player's perspective, because maybe he'll have the fear, but the fear is a lot more easy to follow up with the flame chompers or some angle like that. Like we could still, or maybe like, you know, like Red Mercy will go to like the page like most people do. And this isn't a knock at Red Mercy. This is something that everybody probably does. They'll open up the actual like announcement page or whatever, and then kind of scroll down through it and go over abilities for ability and have a bit of their commentary as they go through the abilities. Maybe we do that exact same thing, but again, like with Jinx in mind. It's like, okay, how would Jinx deal with this? How would Jinx deal with Birdemic the Crow Storm over here? It's like, we just run. That's actually exactly what we do, is we just run. Or speaking of Akali, right? Like Akali, we talked about her a little bit already, but in the future, she's already got like bug fixes because she needs hot fixing to get buffed because she was apparently hit too hard. She was hit too hard. I feel like she's so much of a pro play issue. Maybe they should let her be hit too hard for like a little bit, because if they buff her now immediately, maybe they won't actually, they'll just fall into this loop of constantly buffing and nerfing her instead of maybe seeing what exactly is the issue. I don't want Akali mains to be without their champion for that long, don't get me wrong, it feels bad, but I'm saying like maybe if they just let her sit for like a little bit, like maybe a couple days actually before an immediate buff, they could be like, oh, and this is exactly why she was doing so bad after the nerfs, so that when we buff her, it's in a way that won't put her back in permaban status. I don't know. But even something like that, right? Let's say Akali finally gets fixed within the next couple of weeks. Again, we talk about maybe dealing with her from a Jinx player's perspective, or maybe we just end up making these general videos where we're just talking about that champion. And I have an audience that's usually pretty understanding and also discussion worthy. They like having discussions. Even if it's not about Jinx, as long as Jinx isn't forgotten, of course. This is a Jinx mains channel at the end of the day. And of course, as long as that Wednesday video is the Jinx video, things tend to be all right. You guys have been pretty forgiving, and I appreciate that actually very much. But going forward, that's basically what this video is addressing, my subscribers, and also I'm also saying that as anyone else who was drugged in, because sometimes my video hits recommended and some of those videos pop off, and sometimes I get people that are saying this video is not about anything that it was talking about, even though it's exactly what the title said it was going to be. I can understand that it maybe wasn't what you were looking for when you clicked on the video, and for that I apologize. But the video is about exactly what I said it was going to be about. We talked about the Fiddlesticks rework, we talked a little bit about Akali, we could talk about more of Akali, but that's really the main point about Akali there. It's like in the future, we might talk about the fact that she's getting hot buffed, and what that actually means for Akali and balance in League of Legends for the sake of having a discussion video, so that we can have more videos out to kind of break up the Jinx stuff, because I don't want to get hit by that, and this channel, something really happens to it. Not because it's monetized or anything like that. it's mainly because at this point there's a core audience that actually just really enjoy, first of all, my videos. Thank you, because that's actually really nice to hear, but also just being able to talk to other Jinx players about Jinx stuff, being able to know that, hey, maybe August has mentioned something. If I check the ggGetJinxed channel, he'll have something about it, something like that. That's just nice. And so I want to make sure I do everything I can to keep this channel alive for stuff like that. That might mean sometimes talking about popular stuff. The Volibear rework, another example. That rework isn't for a little bit though. The Fiddlesticks one, probably before the end of February. Just gonna put that out there. Spoiler, leak if you will. We won't be into April without seeing Fiddlesticks. I'm just saying that. So Volibear is a bit a ways away though, but again, when that comes out, maybe we talk about it, either specifically or again, from a Jinx perspective. But that's gonna be all from this video. This video is a bit longer than it should have been. Thank you so much for watching this video, as a matter of fact, if you did. And now you have an idea of what the channel is gonna be doing going forwards. Basically returning to how it was in 2018, where we did kind of at least try to do daily content, sometimes about different topics, to break up the monotony. So that is all for this video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification, the actual subscribe button. And make sure to check out the other channel if you want some other kinds of League of Legends content, like the Jinx rap, like a couple comedy skits, and also TLDR patch notes has been moved to that channel to give myself a weekly series over there. So, I don't know which video will be next, because life can have a lot of kinks. So until this time, take care. GG, get jinxed. Thank you for watching, and enjoy pizza responsibly.